everyone, I'm ESVDiamond, and this is the Diamond Daily Episode 3, BlizzCon predictions. We have BlizzCon coming up actually today now, it's past midnight here, and I'm really excited for this event. I wanted to do some public bracket predictions. I did it last time for, I think it was the American Championship, and it was a lot of fun. So we have BlizzCon coming up. I want to tell you what I think. First of all, for those that have been looking for this, I know I haven't quite hit the schedule that I originally anticipated. I'm working on getting some proper overlays done so I don't have to do all this stuff you see here. I was told it would be done last week. It's not done, so I'm sorry at the mercy of our production guy, but I'm going to just put some stuff out in the meantime. It probably won't be the full 3 to 4 times a week until I get that. I talked to a lot of YouTubers. They said make sure and have proper overlays. Anyways, let's get to it. So, we have BlizzCon coming up. All the road to BlizzCon stuff. I'm circling with my mouse, but you can't see it. All the America Championship, the Europe Championship, OGN, China, Taiwan. It's all come together for this final event. This is really where we're going to determine regional strength. One little side note is that E-Star is not going to be at this event. I'll talk about that a little more, but it's pretty disappointing. So this is going to be Group A, Cloud9, GIA, Team Dignitas, and YL. Group B. No, you've gone full screen thing. Sorry. Is Team DK, Tempo Storm, Natus, Vincier, and Braveheart. And let's get right to the predictions. I'm sure that's what you're all here for. This is my full predictions, and I'm going to go through them in depth. Obviously, if you don't want to listen to me, just pause the video right here, look at them, and go on your merry way. We're going to start with Group A. Group A has Cloud9 in the first match versus GIA. I keep on hearing how Taiwan, they practice on the Korean server. I am sick to death of hearing about TPA winning the League of Legends World 2 Season Championship. The fact is, the Taiwan and SEA region, I don't believe has put out a notable result since then in a major esport. And frankly, for it being such a lifestyle over there, and for them playing on the Korean server, it just doesn't show. I tried to look in GIA. If I remember right, they had only played in that tournament, literally only the road to BlizzCon. They are going to get destroyed by Cloud9. This will probably be one of the most one-sided matches of the tournament. Cloud9 is just looking absolutely unstoppable lately. And I expect them to do very well in this match. 2-0 all day, easy. Taiwan's going to get wrecked. I'm sorry, Taiwan. Team Dignitas versus YL. 2-0 Dignitas. They've looked really good. What I was talking about with E-Star being gone, I want to elaborate more on. When I watched a lot of Chinese VODs, and I watched the training they did with the Korean teams heading into BlizzCon, one thing that really stuck out to me is the drop-off from E-Star to YL. To me, if you were to put it in terms of, like, say, North American teams, number 1, E-Star is right on level with Cloud9. Actually, I would have put E-Star at number 2 in the whole event had they made it, above Cloud9. And then, like, YL goes down. And when you get to YL, you're, like, already at the 9th or 10th team in the region of NA. The skill drop-off is huge. And I think YL is going to be completely outclassed by Dignitas. It's going to be an easy 2-0 for them, which puts the winner's match. Cloud9 Dignitas, I'm super excited for this match. However, one thing, Cloud9 has a lot of experience winning events. Dignitas is still mostly coming second fiddle to Na'Vi. I don't think they're going to be ready for the aggression and the level of pressure Cloud9 brings. Traditionally, European meta has been very, very passive, very slow since the start of competitive heroes, and Cloud9 just plays at a different tempo. I think they're going to tear Dignitas to shreds. I really am a big fan of Dignitas. I love their players. I've been following Bakery for a long time. I would love to see this be a close 2-1 series, but overall I see Cloud9 easily advancing out of groups 4-0. The losers match would be GIA versus YL. This is a little bit of guesswork because there's not much footage on GIA, and most of the footage on YL is not that impressive. Still, not that impressive in China, and maybe being the equivalent of like 9th or 10th in North America, is still enough to beat the top Taiwanese team. I read in these previews, oh, they made it to BlizzCon, watch out. TPA, TPA, TPA. I'm sorry, they're bad. Like, we gotta stop with the TPA excuse. TPA did a wonderful thing. It was one of the most magical things I ever saw. I actually watched that World Championship in League of Legends. This is not TPA. Taiwan's hopes ends right off the bat. Best case scenario, right here, they take a single game. I would not be surprised to see us 2-0. YL advances into Dignitas. This one I'm also predicting a 2-1, but I'm less confident in. I think Dignitas, there's going to be one and two scenarios. One is Dignitas and YL are relatively evenly matched, but Dignitas has the advantage and wins 2-1. The second scenario is YL just can't withstand Dignitas and gets absolutely smashed in a 2-0. Either way, I see Dignitas advancing. I don't see YL advancing, short of some really major changes since they last showed. Which makes Group A, Cloud9 and Dignitas. Group B, this is the group where a lot of things, I'm pretty confident in all my picks in Group A. I'm not super confident in Group B, and let me explain why. First of all, DK Tempo Storm. A month or two ago, before Tempo was having their issues, they've talked very publicly about, this would have been probably the hottest series in the planet. However, I knew about the Tempo Storm issues long, long before they were made public, and they've only gotten worse since then. It sounds like mostly Tempo Storm has given up on this event, that they're hoping maybe to make it out of groups. What is scary about for opponents for Tempo Storm is every time, I've talked about this before, but it's so true, when their back's against the wall, when they should lose a tournament, when they've done historically very well. They are one of the best teams at playing from a variety of situations, including behind in game, behind in series. They have great LAN experience. The thing is, DK has all those and more. Their players are so experienced from StarCraft. They have a lot of experience losing tons of matches and then coming back in a series. I'm really excited for this match. Let's put it this way. Tempo Storm, I'm going to rule them out relatively early. If they show up at 100%, if they're just like, guys, screw the drama, screw this, let's go out with a bang, Tempo Storm could easily take this whole event home. Tempo Storm's predictions are the ones I'm probably the most cautious, or I'm not confident at all about. But I do think DK is going to prove superior to Tempo Storm and 2-0 them. Navi versus Braveheart. Braveheart, obviously we have no footage. For those that don't know, when E-Star got denied or did not get their visas in time, they invited the third place Chinese team Braveheart. However, the team was only able to get visas for several of their players, and is now pulling several members last moment from the EDG squad. God, I can't say that tonight. That was the fourth place team in China. Third and fourth place team in China, I don't think makes it anywhere. I think Braveheart's probably if I did a power ranking, I'd have Braveheart number 7 going into this event. The only team worse is GIA. They're going to get swept by Navi 2-0. I talk a lot of shit about EU. And I think EU is below NA in Korea. Navi is going to crush these guys. I say that with full confidence. This would be one of the biggest shocks if Navi lost to Braveheart. So moving on to the winners match, DK and Navi. 2-0 DK. I do not think Navi will be able to deal with Korean drafting. From working with Wiz and Wujay and getting a lot of heads up on what's going on in the Korean scene, Navi's going to try their silly Falstad, Mighty Gust, whatever crap or something like that and just get blown out of the water by counter picks. Koreans understand the draft in a way I've never seen from a North American team, and I think it's where EU is weakest. Traditionally, I have always been very critical of European drafts, and I think this series right here in particular is going to display how weak European drafting is, which will allow Team DK to move on to the playoff bracket. Losers match here, Tempo Storm and Braveheart. Tempo Storm, even if they show up at 25%, is going to 2-0 this series. I don't think very highly of Braveheart. I actually don't think they should be here as a whole. Sure, they were the next up in line in China, but they're just going to get slaughtered. China goes out very, very early, both brackets. The decider match right here is actually one of the matches I'm most interested in. because it's going to go one of two ways, and I bet on it one way. The first way, the way that I'm showing, where I predict Na'Vi winning 2-1, is Tempo Storm cannot get over their issues. They go on tilt from losing to DK, and they allow Na'Vi to beat them because they're playing bad. However, I think even a bad Tempo Storm is still going to outdraft Na'Vi at least once and just win a game off draft. The other way is Tempo Storm, again, is at 100%. And let me tell you, if Tempo Storm's even at like 60% going into this event, they're going to crush Na'Vi. Like, it's going to be ridiculous how bad they beat them. I don't think Tempo Storm's even going at 60%. From everything I've heard, I would put this at like 10% Tempo Storm. So Na'Vi and DK move on to the playoff brackets. That's one Korean team, one North American, and two European teams. In our playoff bracket, first round, we have Cloud9 versus Na'Vi. I think very much like the DK, you're going to see Na'Vi just get obliterated in draft. Unless they've changed something significant since we've last seen them, they're going to get outdrafted so hard that the entire EU region is going to revise how it drafts. That's what I think is going to happen there. Cloud9 is going to win both games before the games even start. 2-0 Cloud9. Confident in that. DK versus Dignitas. I think Dignitas is a great team. I love them as Bob. I think they have a lot of potential, but I don't think they're ready for DK yet. I think this is just a level past what they're ready for. A couple more months, I think they could have been a real threat, but they're going to get swept 2-0 out of the tournament for Dignitas. Which leads us to the finals. And I hope this finals happens. Because I have DK 3-1. I think DK will be prepared for a Cloud9 matchup. They will know that's very likely if they both make it out of groups. And they will have very tailored, specific drafts to deal with Cloud9 specifically. And they'll largely win it with better drafting and better team fighting. However, of all the top four Korean teams, so the top four Korean teams that don't follow heading into this event were in order DK. There's MVP Black, Snake, and MRR. I think if any of those other three teams had qualified, Cloud9 would not stand a chance. If I think there's one team, Korean team, Cloud9 can beat of those four and take the championship again, it's going to be DK. I think DK is the most beatable Korean team out of the top four. I would not be surprised to see them struggle. But all the data points we have so far suggest that DK is just going to walk over this event. I think DK and Korea are going to walk away your 2015 Hero of the Storm World Champions. And let me know what you think. Do you agree, disagree? What do you want to know? Give me your feedback. Let me know how you like this. Again, we will have more production coming, so I've said this will be 3 to 4 times a week. I'm hoping at the latest to have production next week, and I can hit that schedule. Until then, probably 1 to 2 a week. I just don't want to put out a bad product. And right now, I love the predictions, but this production sucks. So, thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for tuning in to the Diamond Daily. If you like what I do, please follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/ESVDiamond. Feel free to follow Stellar Lotus at twitter.com/StellarLotusFTW. That's twitter.com/StellarLotusFTW. And thank you to our sponsor, Alienware, who makes this all possible. Make sure and visit them at www.alienware.com. They sent me an awesome Area 51 computer I'm recording this on. It's fantastic. I've been able to run games at 60 FPS. I've never run 60 FPS before. So thank them. Also follow them on Twitter at twitter.com/Alienware. And remember, leave me your feedback. Thank you, everyone.